Now we're going to be looking at questions 13 through 14. I see things that I have parentheses and I see my exponent. Now we call that exponential form. So the question, the way you guys are given the question is in exponential form because my exponent is given as a fraction. So it's given as an exponent, so exponential form. I'm going to write this in radical form. Now, the radical form is the symbol that we know as a square root. So that's basically what we call radical form. What I'm going to be doing, if I was doing this on paper, if I was doing this on hand, first of all, I will write down my radical form, my radical symbol. Anything inside the parentheses is inside the radical. So I will just call this 2r to begin with. Now, the reason why we call this radical instead of just square root, because on square roots, the base is, the root is 2. But at the same time, we have a root of 3, a root of 4, a root of other stuff. Now, on your fraction, the bottom number is going to be the root. So in this case, we're looking at root 6. So we usually write that little 6 right here. That goes my root. And I'm going to write this inside parentheses. And then this top number right here is going to be my exponent. I'm going to keep that as an exponent. So all this goes to the 7th power. So that is how we're going to write it. So if you guys were writing this on paper, this is how you guys will do it. You guys write the radical, everything inside the parentheses, write it on the inside the radical. Keep the top number as an exponent and put the bottom number as a root. Now, in your case, on your homework, what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to leave 3 spaces. I'm going to leave this. Let me highlight my 3 spaces. I'm going to leave 3 spaces on your homework when I want to ask you. You guys are going to see the parentheses already. You guys will see the radical already. You guys will just be asked to fill in the 3 spaces. You guys can see which numbers I will do. On my first space, I will write a 6. On my second space, 2r, and on my third space, a 7. I just want to understand. I want to make sure that you understand what goes inside the radical. So what goes inside the radical figured. I want to know you understand that. And I also want to make sure you understand how is this fraction split? That 7 stays as exponent and 6 becomes the root. So let's take a look at question number 14. I'm going to write this. I'm going to write my radical symbol. Inside the radical symbol, I have a 6n because that's what I have inside the parentheses. My root is going to be a 3. And then right now, my exponent is a 2. Now, some of you might be wondering, Mr. Leonzo, the question to begin with had a negative sign. What are we going to do with that? Okay, so I'm going to put it on the top. Remember what we saw before. What do negative exponents mean? It means we have a fraction. So all this is going to go at the bottom, root 3, and becomes positive at the bottom. That's what it means. That's all it means. The top can stay empty, so I'm going to type it in as a 1. I really need you guys to work on splitting your fraction. So remember what I did on number 13. That is what you guys will be working on. I really need you guys to work on that.